All right, it is 5:12 in the morning. I am listening to the Shardcast, and we're gonna go ahead and finish building objective tokens.
Welcome to my hobby desk, and yep, we're going to be finishing off these objective tokens. Here's the guys I primed yesterday, and came out all right. And we're going to go ahead and maybe we'll start painting those this morning. We'll see how much time we have. So back to the chaos icons. Here's the haft. Here's the icon. So I noticed I was playing with these. They don't really go well together. The size is bad. So I thought maybe we could mount it on kind of a piece of rubble or something. So I actually had a piece of concrete that looked pretty good. But I didn't want it standing straight up. So we're going to actually try to lean this back with a couple other pieces of concrete. And we're going to wipe that off, grab some super glue, and go ahead and kind of set these couple pieces together. And then we'll let them dry before we try putting the icon on. And this is me moving the camera because I had to open my drawer to get a toothpick. So we're going to try to get this big piece kind of leaning back a little bit just so that you're not looking straight down at the icon. And we'll just push that aside and let it dry before we put the symbol of Nurgle on there. And we'll go ahead and after we get that, start moving on and working on our last two faction objectives. So the friend that actually got me into painting, he plays Tau. So we're going to go ahead and make a Tau objective. He gave me some pieces of drones that he had left over from building. And I think this is like a pulse drone or something like that, but I can look it up. And the other one is a gravitron drone or something along those lines. But we're going to clip these out. We do got to assemble one of them. And then we're just going to kind of pile them on a base. And we're going to eventually do some snow over them and maybe some rust effects. We'll see how we're feeling when we get there. So I'm going to go ahead and clean these up with my knife and my file, and I'll glue together the two bits, and then we'll pop back in as I'm gluing them down to the base. So nothing too mind-blowing here. We're just going to kind of array them on a base in such a way that they're kind of piled on each other. And we're just going to use some plastic glue and glue them down. I broke a bit when I was pulling it off the sprue, so we're going to go ahead and kind of move it in place and see if some plastic glue will help kind of hold it there. We'll see what happens. All right, well that seems good. So we're going to go ahead and add a little more plastic glue just to hold the two pieces together. And now on to our last faction, and that is going to be Necron. So one of my kids got a sprue of Necron warriors, and they had 12 warriors, but only 8 of them fit in a kill team. So I got these 4 pieces left over. We're going to kit bash some flayed ones probably later in the week, maybe next week. But for now, I want to take one of these gun pieces and some of the cool kind of plastic tubes that go with the guns and maybe some of these scarabs. And we'll see if we can do an interesting objective with that. All right, here's our scarabs. Now I'm going to go ahead and clean these guys up a bit, and we'll pop back in just a second. Okay, so the idea I had for this one is do something with the gun and some of these tubes and have it frozen in ice with the scarabs crawling over it. Now, we can't throw it all together now because I don't want to put the primer over the tubes and I don't want the scarabs in the ice. So we're going to go ahead and mount this guy up here, and we're going to get our Vallejo texture out again, and we're going to dab that earth texture on there and put the gun in to get the foundation for our ice bit. And then I'm going to prime that, and then afterwards we're going to go and put some of the tubes in. We'll ice effect that, and then we'll put some painted scarabs on the top of that. So we're gonna go ahead and put the gun on here. I'm still learning camera angles and stuff. Thank you for being patient. So the hose kind of poking up like that seems kind of weird, but maybe when we build it, we'll put the tubes kind of so they're underneath and it's sitting on it. So we'll set that back so we can dry. And now we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna pin these scarabs. And fortunately, they already have a little hole in it, so I don't even have to drill it with a pin vise. But I'm gonna get some of my cork that I do sub-assemblies with, and we're going to grab some super glue, and we're just going to put a little bit of super glue on the end of the pin and rest the scarabs on it, and it'll be enough to hold it so I can paint it, but I'll also be able to kind of break them off afterwards after they're painted and stick them on the base. So we'll go ahead and pin all those now. So I'm just going to take the head of each pin, get a little bit of super glue on it, and then stick it in the hole and rest the scarab on the top there. And you don't want so much that you won't be able to kind of twist or wobble the scarab off. But you do need to have a little bit so that it will stay. But it's super glue, you don't need very much. A little bit will go a very long way. All right, so with the scarabs pinned and now drying, the last thing to do to get our objective tokens ready for priming will be take the chaos icon and glue it to the top of the slab of rubble or broken wall that's there. So we're gonna go ahead and do that. So before I put the icon on, I'm going to go ahead and use some super glue and try to reinforce the rocks a little bit. And I didn't have enough on my mega base there, so we're just going to take the dropper and stick a bunch in and use the toothpick to move it around, just so to be sure that these rocks don't fall apart. And any kind of blobs or anything that come out if we prime it, we'll just cover those with snow later. And now all that's left is to take our icon in despair and glue it up on the concrete, and kind of where the hand bit is and everything, there's a nice convenient spot that fits right on the top, and we're going to leave that on. I think it'll be kind of neat, and we'll figure out how we want to paint it when it's time to paint it. All right, there we go. Now all 5 factions that we play on our kill team table are going to have an objective. And I'm going to go ahead and base these, and we actually are going to start painting this morning, but I'm going to put that up in a different video. So thanks for watching. Thanks for being patient as I'm figuring this out. If you hobbied today and took a video, link it down below. I would love to see it. And until then, have a good one.